Steam rising off a cup of coffee, the world just stirring, and some part of you wants to stay wrapped in the softness of bed, heat trapped under the covers, holding off the cold start of morning. Marcus Aurelius said, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" You know that feeling. The reluctance to rise, not just from sleep, but from whatever comfort shields us from facing the day. For Marcus, the question wasn't really about the blankets. It was about purpose, about doing what needs to be done, simply because it's yours to do. Most mornings aren't marked by heroics. They're made of smaller choices. The decision to show up, to reach for your phone and leave it face down, to greet a partner with gentleness instead of habit, to begin the long, sometimes thankless work of being an ordinary human. In relationships, this is self-control in its most humbling form, saying, I don't get to act however I feel. I show up. That's the work. Epictetus asked, how long will you wait before you demand the best of yourself and trust reason to determine what is best? You have been given the principles that you ought to endorse, and you have endorsed them. What kind of teacher, then, are you still waiting for? It's easier, isn't it, to wait for some sign, for a perfect partner, a textbook answer, a moment when the right thing doesn't feel like work. Epictetus strips away every excuse. You already know the principles. You already know how you want to act at your best. In modern life, this hits hardest in moments of uncertainty. You might catch yourself wishing for another opinion, scrolling for advice, listening for someone else's approval about whether to leave or stay, to speak or stay silent, to forgive or to draw a boundary. Epictetus calls you out. You know, somewhere under the tangle of feelings, you know what it would mean to demand the best of yourself. Self-control is not about suppressing feeling. It's about not outsourcing your standards. Imagine the kind of relationships that could take root if both people stopped waiting for the world or their partner to make them act right. Who then would you be? Epictetus said, from now on then, resolve to live as a grown-up who is making progress and make whatever you think best a law that you never set aside. And whenever you encounter anything that is difficult or pleasurable or highly or lowly regarded, remember that the contest is now. You are at the Olympic Games. You cannot wait any longer. There's no dress rehearsal for who you are in a relationship, just the daily contest. No matter how trivial the argument, how small the irritation, it all counts. That tense breath when you want to reply in anger, the urge to indulge in gossip, the bait of passive aggression. The contest is now. This is the emotional Olympics. You are on the field, not watching. No one else will hand you the medal. The insight is plain and hard. Self-control in relationships isn't just about holding back the worst of you. It's about consistently choosing the better. Patience over threat, clarity over white lies, generosity over resentment. When you find yourself thinking, not now, I'll be better later, Epictetus interrupts, later is gone. Now is the test. Epictetus said, whatever rules you have adopted, abide by them as laws, and as if you would be guilty of impiety by violating any of them. Don't regard what anyone says of you, for this, after all, is no concern of yours. Other people have expectations for you. Parents, friends, strangers on the internet. Opinions swirl around every decision you make, but Stoicism's challenge is sharper. Decide your own rules and then treat them as sacred. Think about your own self-imposed vows. Maybe I won't yell when I'm frustrated, or I won't check my ex's profile again. It feels small until you realize breaking your own code is where self-control lives or dies, not in reaction to external reward or shame, but because you alone know what you stand for. The practice. Pick one rule for how you want to act with others, especially when no one is watching. Write it, revisit it, defend it fiercely from creeping exceptions, and let the judgment of others be background noise. Seneca said, set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? Seneca wrote this not in a moment of triumph, but while walking through the world as a Roman senator, wealthy, exposed, and targeted by envy and politics. He deliberately chose days of discomfort, eating poor food, wearing scratchy clothes, not in self-punishment, but as training. Relationships, too, ask us to practice a kind of voluntary hardship. There are times when connection feels thin, communication fails, warmth fades, loneliness pools up beside the person nearest to us. Seneca's test is existential but practical. Can you endure the lean moments in love with grace, not complaint? Set aside days when you don't get what you want from the people closest to you. Will you become bitter or self-pitying, or will you discover that surviving a little disappointment cleanses the mind and lets new gratitude grow? What is the condition that I feared? Marcus Aurelius said, to stop talking about what a good man is like and just be one. There is a razor's edge between intention and action. We know what kindness looks like, but do we deliver it in the instant someone asks for patience we don't feel? We want loyalty, forgiveness, attention. Do we extend them before demanding them? Real self-control means shutting up about principles and living them out. No one needs to hear again what respect, honesty, or love should look like. They need to see you choosing restraint under fire, skepticism of your own self-serving narratives, readiness to start over without shaming someone for past slips, especially in close quarters, with those who see the unguarded version of you. This is where Stoic advice slides out of abstraction and lands heavily on the floor of the everyday. Epictetus asked, "How long, then, will you delay to demand of yourself the noblest improvements, and in no instance to transgress the judgments of reason? You have received the philosophical principles with which you ought to be familiar, and you have been familiar with them. What other master, then, do you wait for, to throw upon that the delay of reforming yourself?" These words bite. For all the intellectual appetite of Stoicism, it is, at its root, a philosophy of urgency. What are you waiting for? A partner who never tests your patience? A job that never drains you? A stretch of days without anxiety or anger? That world might never arrive. But this is the invitation, or maybe the provocation, at the heart of Stoicism. Stop postponing the life of self-control that you, the real you, not the ideal, are capable of. There is no secret wisdom left to wait for, no new master, no new technique, nothing in a future self that is not already seated inside the decisions you make this hour, this minute. If you pause here, you might see more clearly. Self-control isn't hard discipline for its own sake. It's the condition for anything deep in human connection: trust, loyalty, the freedom to truly let the guard down. All these timeless fragments, written in cold tents, crowded cities, exile, silence, and political danger, each speak to what it takes to keep your word to yourself in the soft, unnoticed trials of every modern relationship. It doesn't matter how many guides we read, how many diagnoses we accumulate, how often we debate what love ought to feel like. If control of self can't make it through the filter of daily practice, nothing else will hold. In the end, being the person you want to be in your relationships is a long, slow training to act on your values, even when you feel frayed, overlooked, invisible, to return to your own code, not because anyone will praise you, but because self-respect is its own form of warmth. If this stayed with you, there are more stories like it waiting. You're not the only one learning how to get up and live well, one ordinary morning at a time.